From Walsh Field at Wakefield Memorial High School in Wakefield, Mass., this is Lexington Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Today, it's the Blue Sox with a record of 9-4, first in the ICL, visiting the Wakefield Merchants with a record of 6-5-1, fifth in the ICL. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sam Feely, ready to bring you the play-by-play story. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July week and weekend. The ICL taking its usual 4th of July break. And now back to action today as the Blue Sox look to make it 3 out of 3 against the Merchants this season. They took the first two meetings 7-2 here at Walsh back on June 10th. And I misspoke. It's actually 2 of 2, not 3 of 3. These teams only meeting 3 times this year. This is the second meeting, and the Blue Sox will have their lone home meeting against the Merchants towards the end of the season on July 30th. Blue Sox have been on quite a roll to get to first place after treading water in the middle of the standings for a while. They've won 3 in a row, including back-to-back walk-off wins on home runs against the Alabrandies on the 27th and against Watertown last Monday. That was a walk-off grand slam by Ross Curley. And Ross is showing a power stroke this year, and we'll get to his numbers later. But the Blue Sox, no, they're not overpowering with their offense. They don't have a huge run differential, but, a win is a win is a win. And in the end, the only stat that matters is the final score. Blue Sox doing it in any way, shape, or form they can to try and win their 14th Intercity League championship this year. Here's the starting line for the Blue Sox. They'll be in the navy blue jerseys with Blue Sox across the front in red block letters, red numbers and red shoulders. Aaron Barboza is going to lead it off in right field, followed by Justin Silvestro at second. Ross Curley is at short. Julian Alvarez is in left. Andrew Salima is at first. Thomas Russo is at third. Manny Del Carmen is the DH. John Putras is behind the plate. And rounding out the lineup in center field is Josue Feliciano. On the mound for the Blue Sox today will be Casey Basone. And Basone, 2-1 with a 1.66 ERA in 12 2/3 innings. He's allowed 14 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of which are earned, walked 3 and struck out 12. Here's Aaron Barboza to lead things off against the Wakefield pitcher, Joe McGuire. Barboza playing in just his 6th game, but batting .500 with 1 RBI and still leads the team in stolen bases with 5. McGuire fires the first pitch at 2:57 and it misses. We're underway. Barboza takes ball 2, 2-0. Nobody else on the Blue Sox has more than 1 stolen base. Barboza, again, only 5 games played, still has the team lead. That misses outside. It's 3-0. Barboza will step out of the box, see what his approach here is on 3-1. He's either third baseman Coster in on the grass at third base. The pitch, that's taken for a strike, and now Barbs will go to work. The defensive alignment for the Merchants, left to right in the outfield, it's Dana, Lozano, and Barry. Third to first in the infield, Coster, Collins, Manugian, and Nardone. That's strike 2 to Barboza. And Joe Barry catching Joe McGuire. The payoff pitch. Line to the left side, out of the reach of the shortstop, Collins. And Barboza is aboard with a base hit to lead off the ball game. Good at bat, make him throw a few pitches and get on base with considerable speed. Blue Sox haven't been the most patient team this year in terms of working counts. Saw that in the Alabrandis game. Barboza bluffs off of first, and that's a strike to Stroh. 0-1. Silvestro has picked up his batting average lately up to 250 after being below 200 for a while. 250 with 4 RBIs and 1 double. Throw over to first and back safely is Barboza. This is a little nubber off the plate, and that'll be a foul ball for strike 2. McGuire pitching in his 6th game this season, 3-1 with a 2.63 ERA. In 24 innings, he's allowed 22 hits, 12 runs, only 9 of which are earned, walked 1, and struck out 21. Outside 2-2. McGuire has not faced the Blue Sox this season. His last start came on June 27th, a 5-inning loss against Andres. This is grounded to short. Costner's only placed to first as Barboza was running. And it's a productive out as it gets the runner to second, staying out of the double play. So runner in scoring position with 1 down for Ross Curley. Ross, of course, that walk-off grand slam on the second against Watertown. His second home run of the year, and his second at Lexington Highs. That's in there for strike 1, 0-1. Ross banged 267, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Those 2 homers are his only extra base hits this year. And he pops this one up into foul territory, and that'll make it 0-2. And while it's hard to hit a home run in this park, it's obviously not impossible, but there's a lot of room where Ross could easily pick up a double or a triple for another extra base hit if he were to find a gap. Here's one into right center field, and this will be a diving missed opportunity there by the right fielder. And coming in to score, and Ross is into second. Barboza scores. It's a single and an advance on the throw. It was the center fielder Lozano who backed up the diving attempt by Barry. And it is 1-0. So that'll bring up Julian Alvarez. Curley at second. Again, that was a single and an advance on throw. Barboza had to hang up between second and third because the right fielder, Barry, nearly came up with that play. It was nearly a spectacular diving catch. And Alvarez fouls this one off to even the count at 1. So no extra base hit for Ross, but he does pick up RBI number 7 on the season, which still has him at third on the team behind Burgos and this man Alvarez. And Alvarez grounds it down the third baseline foul to make it 1-2. Alvarez coming into play, 364, 2 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, and 8 RBIs. Good for a slugging percentage of .576. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Alvarez goes down for the first strikeout for McGuire. Two down, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Andrew Salima. And Salima takes well down and away for ball one. Salima 231 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs. 2 of his 3 hits are doubles. He grounds this one to the right side, fielded by the second baseman, Manugian, on to first, and the side is retired. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left for the Blue Sox after half an inning. It is the Blue Sox 1 and the Merchants coming up. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. Here's the starting lineup that Casey Basone will face for the Wakefield Merchants. Bobby Lozano leading off in center field, followed by Dylan Coster at third. Ryan Collins is at short. Mike Sorrentino is the DH. Brendan Berry is in right. Joe Berry is behind the plate. Bryant Dana is in left. Jake Nardone is at first. And Mike Manugian rounds out the lineup at second base. Here's Bobby Lozano, the reigning Intercity League MVP. And he's having another fantastic season, although in the shadow of Dylan Coster's even more impressive season. He's batting .463 as Lozano comes up empty at a pitch high and inside for strike one. Lozano batting .463, 5 doubles, 1 triple, and 6 RBIs. But wait till you hear Coster's line. Up and away, 1-1. I mean, when we last saw the Merchants, obviously we told you Coster was having a hell of a season. He's batting over 700 at the time. He's not doing much worse right now. And again, we'll tell you about his line in a little bit, as it's 1-2 as that last pitch was fouled off. Called strike 3. And that's out number 1 as Lozano is down looking. So here's Dylan Coster. Batting .622, 2 doubles, 10 RBIs. His 23 hits are by far the most in the ICL. I mean, I know this is a 28-game season, so you have a small sample size to work with, but still, to maintain a .622 average at any point in the season, in any league, strike 1, although that looked to be in the same place as the last pitch. 1-1. This is grounded down the third baseline. Diving stop by Russo. He knocks it down and wisely eats it. So that'll be a 1-out single for Coster. But credit to Russo there for knocking it down and preventing it from going down the third base line and preventing perhaps extra bases for Coster, and that'll bring up the shortstop Ryan Collins. But the last time the Blue Sox faced Coster and the Merchants, Coster was held to a mere 1-for-3 day. This is grounded to the right side, through for a base hit. Silvestro was playing way off the second base bag, and on his way to third, and safe at third is Coster, and taking second on the throw with nobody looking is Collins. It's kind of a poor defensive effort there by the Blue Sox on that sequence. You had Silvestro playing pretty close to the second base bag. He was way out of reach of that ground ball. And an errant throw, if it was on line by Barboza, they might have had Coster, but instead, 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out for the DH Mike Sorrentino. Sorrentino, 238 with 2 RBIs this season. He fouls this one down the right field line for strike 2. For Collins, he picks up his 18th hit of the year, padding his .395 batting average. A little broken bat looper to second. Silvestro has it, fires on to first, but that'll get the run home. And this game is tied at 1 as advancing to third on the play is Collins. So an RBI for Sorrentino is 6th, and coming up empty there is Brendan Berry for strike 1. That misses for ball 1 to even the count. Brendan batting .258 with 2 doubles and 6 RBIs. Misspoke. Sorrentino's 3rd RBI. What was I thinking there? 3rd RBI. A little check swing number down the first base line, and this will be a foul ball as Salima fields it just over the first base line to make it 1-2. Collins at third, 1 run home, 1-1 game. Swing and a miss, and a good breaking ball down and away. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Casey Basone, but much like the Blue Sox, 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. And after 1 complete, Blue Sox 1, Merchants 1. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. So here is Thomas Russo. 6, 7, and 8 due up here for the Blue Sox in the top of the second. Both teams using a couple of singles and some heads-up base running to score their first runs in the first inning. McGuire delivers ball 1 to Thomas. And Russo grounds this one to the first baseman, and he bobbles it! So that should be an E3 that allows Russo to reach. 295 coming into today with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs for Russo. And that'll bring up Manny Del Carmen. And Del Carmen grounds this one to the left side, out of the reach of the third baseman, Coster. Low throw to first, and Del Carmen is safe as that throw pulls the first baseman, Nardone, off the bag. Dave Elligood is not happy with the call. He wants to check it. And he's safe. So that'll be an E6, back-to-back errors to lead off the inning by the Merchants defense. Del Carmen coming into play 1 for 5 with an RBI. That'll bring his average down, but it'll keep his on-base percentage up. So here's John Puttress. Could see a bunt here. Third baseman Coster's in on the grass. He does square, pulls back, throw down to second, 1 hops. It's picked up by the shortstop Collins. And that'll be ball 1. So first and second. Nobody out. 2 errors have allowed Russo and Del Carmen to reach. Putty squares again, gets down a good one in front of the plate. It'll be fielded by the pitcher, McGuire, and just barely keeping his foot on the bag this time is the first baseman, Nardone. Nearly a third straight error to lead off the inning. That'll bring up Josue Feliciano. And a chance to give the Blue Sox the lead again with a base hit. Sway 1 for 8, but he has drawn 5 walks. He's had 3 sacrifice hits. And he takes ball 1. Strike 1, rather. Infield in. And this is grounded out of the reach of the third baseman, Coster, into left field for a base hit. Del Carmen is being held at third, and a big hit there for Sway as it gives the Blue Sox the lead back at 2-1. So the lineup turns over for Aaron Barboza, who singled and scored, leading off the ball game. For Sway, that's his first RBI of the season, and Barbs takes ball 1. That obviously is an unearned run charged to McGuire's. That's fouled towards the tennis courts, and that'll even the count at 1. Still only 1 out in the inning, and that was a sacrifice bunt by Puttress. Double play is in order here, however, as this is into left field, going into foul territory, and making the catch is the left fielder Dana, and he rifles it back into third base and nearly gets Del Carmen, but Del Carmen is back safely. So 2 down. Del Carmen bluffed off of third, and then he nearly got rung up. So that'll bring up Justin Silvestro. Stroh grounded out to short, his first time up in the first, but stayed out of a double play with Barboza running on that play. Feliciano runs, the pitch is a strike, throw down to second is not in time. Sway picks up a steal. That'll be his second of the year. Now 2 runners in scoring position for Stroh. And Justin takes outside to even the count at 1. Back-to-back errors leading off the inning, then a sacrifice bunt, a single, and a flyout. Swing and a miss at a off-speed pitch in the dirt, and that makes it 1-2. Blue Sox would like to punish McGuire more than just with the 1 run. This is a foul, grounder down the third base line, but it's fielded in foul territory by Coster, keeping the count at 1-2. That State Ferry might have had a shot at Silvestro, but it's a moot point now. Del Carmen at third, Feliciano at second. 2 down and a 2-1 ball game. The 1-2 nearly hits him, and it's 2-2. Stroh's got some room down that right field line if he can pull one. And the pitch. Down and in, full count. Coming back from 0-2 to 3-2 here. Let's see what Silvestro can do with Ross Curley on deck. The payoff pitch. Into right field and down for a base hit. Del Carmen scores easily. Feliciano is being held at third. And it's an RBI single for Silvestro on a 3-2 count. You know, the Merchants outfield has saved a couple of runs here for McGuire. It's too bad that the infield hasn't been able to do the same, because both the runs that scored this inning reached on infield errors. And that's strike 1 to Ross. Ross picked up an RBI single his first time up in the first. 3-1 our score. Here in the second. He swings and misses at an off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. This is the second of 3 meetings this year between the Merchants and the Blue Sox. Only 3 meetings with the kind of an unbalanced schedule with 9 teams in the league, but the ICL still only playing 28 games. It's because want to keep as many dates open as we can for, the rainouts we usually get. We've already had a couple for the Blue Sox. That swung on missed for strike 3. McGuire picks up his second strikeout, but 2 unearned runs score on 2 hits, 2 errors, and 2 left. After 1.5, it is the Blue Sox 3 and the Merchants 1. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon LSP37, Snapchat LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. So 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left for the Blue Sox. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 1 left for the Merchants. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Merchants here in the bottom of the second against Casey Bassone. Joe Barry, the catcher, to lead things off. And Barry takes strike 1 from Bassone. Down and in, and it's 1-1. Barry fouls that one off Putty's mask, and that makes it 1-2. Barry batting .214, no RBIs, 1 double. Pitch down and in, and it's flared into right center field, and coming in and making the sliding catch is Aaron Barboza. Actually, that was Sway, my mistake. They switched up the outfield slots. They have Barboza in center and Sway in right now. So Barry's retired, and that brings up Bryant Dana, the left fielder. That's in there for strike 1 to Dana. This is ground to the right side. Silvestro that takes a slow roller, fires on to first. Salima lost his footing a little bit trying to find the bag, but gets back in time. And there's 2 down. Two up, 2 down. That brings up Jake Nardone, the first baseman. And Nardone fouls the first one straight into Putty's mitt for strike 1. Nardone takes outside to even the count at 1. Nardone getting his first at-bat of the season here. And he takes low ball 2, and he's ahead 2-1. Bassone comes set, and the 2-1. High for ball 3. Number 8 hitter, first at-bat of the season. Don't know why you pitch so carefully to this guy. Comes after him there, and that fills the count at 3-2. Second baseman Mike Manugian on deck if Nardone can reach here. The payoff pitch. High for ball 4. And in his first at-bat of the season, his first plate appearance of the season anyways, Nardone works a walk. Can't get any higher than a 1,000 on-base percentage. So a 2-out walk means Mike Manoogian will come to bat. Manoogian, the number 9 hitter and the second baseman. And he takes high, ball 1. Son looking, I don't know if he's being tentative here with the, he can't be being tentative with the 8 and 9 hitters. Just not hitting his spots here. He's behind number 9 here, 2-0, and there goes Putty out to have a word with him. Manoogian's no slouch from the number 9 slot, 259 with 1 double and 4 RBIs. But a 2-0 count, and that misses 3-0. Dangerous Bobby Lozano on deck. Got to come after him. That misses, ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks to the numbers 8 and 9 hitters. That turns the lineup over for Bobby Lozano, and he's got the tying run at first base. And he's got extra base power, that's for sure. Matt Karras going out to have a word with Casey. So let's see what Bobby Lozano can do. Got to do better than the strikeout looking he took leading off the bottom of the first. The defensive alignment for the Blue Sox, by the way, with the late change in the outfield. Left to right in the outfield, Alvarez, Barboza, and Feliciano. Third to first in the infield, Russo, Curley, Silvestro, and Salima, and Putras catching Basone, as that's in there for a strike. And it's 0-1 to the reigning ICL MVP Lozano. Misses low, 1-1. Nardone at second, Manoogian at first. 3-1 our score in the bottom of the second. That's low, 2-1. And someone's starting to loosen in the Blue Sox bullpen. Can't tell you who from here. It's a 2-1 count to a dangerous hitter in Lozano. And he pops this one up to the right side and fouling out of play to even the count at 2. You certainly don't want to put Lozano on with Coster and his .622 average on deck. Check swing, it's a full count. So on top of all this, the runners will be going with the pitch. Payoff pitch, here it is. On the inside, ball 4. And the bases are loaded on 3 straight 2-out walks. He was breezing through the first 2 hitters. Now he's got to come after the ICL's leading hitter. And it's fouled for strike 1. That would have easily tied the game. And the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first. Grounder to the left side, through for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes another. The throw to the plate is not in time. It's a 2-run single for Dylan Coster, and this game is tied. Dylan Coster comes through again. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Ryan Collins. And he takes strike one. Again, he breezed through the first two batters and allowed 3 straight 2-out walks. And now a 2-run single. Runners go, and Putty eats the throw. He's stolen bases of second and third. And now the go-ahead run just 90 feet away. For Coster, he picks up his 11th and 12th RBIs of the season. Outside, 2-1. Bullpen getting into panic mode here as this is fouled off. 2-2. It's the third batter with 2 outs that Basone has gone to 2 strikes with. Couldn't get Nardone. And walked Manoogian on 4 pitches, and then couldn't get Lozano and walked him. And the 2-2. Popped up. Silvestro's calling for it. Eddie makes the catch in foul territory for the out that retires the side finally. But the Merchants even the game again. 2 runs on just 1 hit. No errors and 2 left. After 2 complete, it is the Blue Sox 3 and the Merchants 3. We're in for a fun one here, folks. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram at BlueSox_ICL. So 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 3 left for the Blue Sox. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and 3 left for the Merchants. Back to where we started. Tied at 3 as we enter the top of the third, with the middle third of the order due up for the Blue Sox: Julian Alvarez, Andrew Salima, and Thomas Russo. So the Blue Sox punished the Merchants with errors in the second, and the Merchants punished the Blue Sox with walks in the second. Basone doubled his walk total on the season in that second inning. He had 3 walks all of this season coming into the play. He now has 6. As that misses inside for ball 1 to Julian Alvarez, who struck out swinging his first time up in the first. Alvarez pops this one up foul to even the count at 1. Swings and misses at a pitch that tied him up inside, and it's 1-2. Again, the middle third of the order due up here: Alvarez, Salima, and Russo. Fouled off, remains 1-2. Only one of the runs earned allowed by McGuire here. Downstairs, and it's 2-2. Fouled away. Good at bat here by Alvarez. After getting a little bit of rest there for McGuire, now he has to work here against the cleanup hitter for the Blue Sox. Pops this one up, foul and out of play. Nearly took a chunk out of a passing car there. It was a good response to start the at-bat for Alvarez and the Blue Sox as he fouls this one, swings and hits it off the end of the bat, and it's an easy 1-3 putout. And Alvarez is 0 for 2, and there's one down in the inning. Well, he may throw a few pitches, but in the end it was kind of a anticlimactic finish with just a little nubber back to the pitcher. So here's Andrew Salima, grounded out to second to end the first, his first time up. Blue Sox need to respond here. They responded very well after allowing the tying run in the first. Well, they do here after allowing 2 runs to tie the game in the second, now here in the third, as that's fouled off for strike 1. On the outside corner to make it 0-2. And time is called by Salima. McGuire working exclusively from the stretch. And the 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. Classic 0-2 high fastball, but that was a little too high to tempt Salima. Calls time again, and the 1-2 fouled straight back. Thomas Russo on deck, and if we get that far, Manny Del Carmen. A little nubber off the end of the bat, bobbled by the pitcher McGuire, but he underhands to first. For the out, 2 down. So 2 up, 2 down, and that'll bring up Thomas Russo, reached on an error and scored. His first time up last inning in the second, and we just wait for Andrew Salima to clear the way. Swing and a miss by Russo, and it's 0-1. Blue Sox are back in action tomorrow night, back at Lexington High, as that misses for ball 1. Of course, we'll have that game here for you on LSP. Skied into left field. Out goes the shortstop Collins. Makes the catch, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Joe McGuire. Let's see if Casey Basone can respond in kind after 2.5. Blue Sox 3, Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. LSP's next broadcast is tomorrow night at 7:55 p.m. when the Lexington Blue Sox host the Malden Mad Dogs. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. It has been kind of a wacky season in the ICL right now. You don't have the typical dominance by the Reds, Blue Sox, and Chiefs. It's been really anybody's game pretty much for most of the season. And you have the Blue Sox and the Reds at the top of the standings at 9-4 and 9-5. Melrose, a game back in the win column of Watertown, a full game back of the Blue Sox, as that's strike one to Mike Sorrentino. And the Andre Chiefs, 8-8, as that's fouled away to make it 0-2. Chiefs bringing the thunder, certainly, offensively. They have the most home runs in the ICL, but their pitching hasn't been on point as it usually is. Franny's putting up, career-high strikeout numbers, but he's been walking a lot of guys, too. Check swing, and it's 2-2. Far cry from his 2012 season when he was ICL MVP and top pitcher. Full count now. What do you have, 110 strikeouts in 69 innings or something like that? How do you do that? Up the middle and through for a base hit. So after being behind 0-2, Sorrentino works a leadoff single. That'll bring up the right fielder Brendan Berry, who struck out swinging his first time up to end the first. Middle third of the order due up here for the Merchants. Sorrentino leading it off with the fourth hit of the ball game for the Merchants. And that misses up and away for ball one. Sorrentino not really a threat to run at first, as it's fouled off to make it 1-1. This game, once it's complete, will mark the halfway point for the Blue Sox. The 28-game schedule. This is game 14. Fouled off again. 1-2 to Berry. Still action in the Blue Sox bullpen. Breaking ball drops in there for strike three. So Berry caught looking. He's down on strikes for the second time. And that'll bring up Joe Berry, who flew out to right, leading off the second. And Berry smokes this one into left center field. Back goes Barboza to the wall, and he makes the catch. It's hit a long way, but a long way doesn't get you a long way at Walsh Field. That might be out at Maplewood, but not here. So that'll bring up Brian Dana, the left fielder, grounded out to second for the second out of the second, his first time up. Inside for ball one. That's a strike. Looked a little outside from here, but it'll be 1-1. Reach for and foul towards the tennis courts. to make it 1-2. Sorrentino still anchored to the bag at first there. Being held on by Salima. 1-2 the count to Dana. And that skips to the backstop out of the reach of Putty. And that'll be a wild pitch that puts the go-ahead run into scoring position. So a 2-2 count, 2 out, runner at second. That runner, Sorrentino, represents the go-ahead run, rather. And that misses, full count. Payoff pitch coming up. A lot of full counts here for Basone. Swing and a miss, strike 3. There's a big strikeout there. It leaves the go-ahead run at second, and after 3 complete, it is still the Blue Sox 3 and the Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of this or any past LSP video broadcast or one of several different designs of bumper stickers. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store or the LSP Facebook page after the game to place your order. And remember, all orders within the continental United States come with free shipping. Three runs, 4 hits, no errors, 3 left for the Blue Sox. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, 4 left for the Merchants. After both teams trade 1 run in the first and 2 runs in the second, they're held scoreless in the third, and let's see what happens here in the 4th inning. With the bottom third of the order due up for the Blue Sox, Manny Del Carmen, John Puttress, and Josue Feliciano. Manny Del Carmen to lead things off. He reached on an error by the shortstop Collins and came around to score back in the second. Center fielder Lozano shaded towards left as that's in there for a strike 1 to make it 0-1. On the outside corner to make it 0-2. Del Carmen, as we mentioned the last time we saw him, had 1 at-bat in the major leagues as a pitcher, as that's outside for ball 1. And that was as a reliever for the Colorado Rockies. Taken for strike 3. And Del Carmen is down on strikes. That is the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for McGuire. 5 in a row set down by Joe McGuire. That brings up John Puttress. Laid down a sac bunt his first time up in the second. And he takes outside ball 1, a little floating high slider there. Fastball fouled off, and that evens the count at 1. Blue Sox haven't had a hit since Silvestro's RBI single in the second. Swing and a miss, and that makes it 1-2. Pretty big gap up the middle here for Putty as that skips away from the catcher, John Barry, and that'll make it 2-2. Joe Barry, rather. I'll hit it right back up the box here if you're Putty. And he does just that in a left center field. A diving catch by Bobby Lozano, taking away at least a single from John Puttress. Hit it right on the screws, but Lozano, with his fantastic speed and defense, flags that one down. We've had a couple fantastic catches in the outfield. We had one by Barboza, one by Feliciano, and now one by Lozano. And speaking of Feliciano, here he is with 2 out and the base is empty. And he takes low ball 1. They're approaching the 1 hour mark of this game, as Sway hits this to left field, and this will be caught running towards running towards not just foul territory, but out of play territory by the left fielder Dana. And that'll do it. 7 in a row retired by McGuire. After 3.5, we're halfway home. It is the Blue Sox 3 and the Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. So we have a new pitcher to tell you about, and it's the left-hander Nick Godfroy. Takes over for Casey Bissone, went 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 walks, 3 earned runs, while striking out 4. Godfroy making his 4th appearance of the season, 0-1 with a 1.17 ERA. In 6 innings of work, he's allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 10, but also surrendered 1 home run. He's faced the Merchants once. That was on June 10th, went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no strikeouts. He has to go a little longer than that today, I'm sure. As the first pitch is a strike to the first baseman, Jake Nardone. Godfrey with a good fastball and the big overhand curveball. And there is said curveball for strike 2. Just missed upstairs for ball 1. I think Nardone was ready to go back to the dugout on that one. That was a big looper that just got back in there, but apparently not according to the umpire. The 1-2. Foul tipped into the mitt of Puttress for strike 3. So Nardone is down on strikes. First strikeout for Godfrey. That'll bring up Mike Manoogian, who, like Nardone, walked and scored his first time up in the second. 3 runs, both teams with 3 runs and 4 hits. As that jackknifes Manoogian a little bit for ball 1. Blue Sox have committed no errors and left 3 runners. The Merchants have committed 2 errors and left 4 runners. Misses down and in, 2-0. Teams traded runs in the first and the second. Blue Sox took a 3-1 lead in the top of the second, taking advantage of 2 leadoff errors. Errors that allowed Russo and Del Carmen to reach, as Godfrey's behind 3-0 here. But then the Merchants came back after the first 2 were retired. 3 straight walks and a single led to the 2 runs that tied the game for Wakefield. The 3-0. And that missed. Ball 4. That looked good from here, but you can tell Godfrey was not happy with that call. That is the 4th walk allowed by Blue Sox pitching today. And the lineup turns over for Bobby Lozano. Lozano 0 for 1 with a walk and a steal. And Manoogian inching off of first, doing a little dancing there. And the fastball is high for ball 1, so 5 straight balls thrown by Godfrey after dispatching Nardone fairly easily. That misses, 2-0. Walks haven't been a problem for Nick this year. They did bite him a little bit in past years with the Blue Sox, but this has popped up. Alvarez coming in, and he's called off by Barboza for out number 2. So runner still at first, 2 down for the dangerous Dylan Coster. 2 for 2 with an RBI, 2 RBIs and a run scored. Continues to have one of the most impressive seasons we've ever seen in the Intercity League. 622 coming into play, and he's already padded on that. And a little number off the end of the bat, fielded by Russo, he bobbles it! That should have been handled easily by Russo, so that's going to be an error. The first error of the ball game on the Blue Sox, and puts the go-ahead run in scoring position for Ryan Collins, who is 1 for 2 with a single. It's been a 1-pitch out instead. Pressure again for the Blue Sox on the mound and in the field. And Collins fouls this one off for strike 1. Coster on base for the third time. 2 for 3 today. Good break. Oh, my goodness. That looked good, but Godfrey is not getting any of these calls that you'd think he should. And Godfrey steps off the mound and blusts the throw to second, and back safely is Manugian. Breaking ball waited on and fouled off to make it 1-2. Godfrey's got to feel like that strike zone is like playing a game of whack-a-mole right now. Wants to get Collins here and get the Blue Sox back to bat with the top third of the order due up in what would hopefully still be a tie ball game. That's low, but Putras corrals it. Good job by Putty. And that makes it 2-2. No advance by the runners. Excellent job by Putty to prevent the advance. Would have put the go-ahead run at third and an insurance run at second. As it stands, 2-2 the count, 2 out, 2 on. 3-3 ball game in the bottom of the fourth. Godfrey delivers into right field. Feliciano coming in, makes the catch, and the side is retired. So nothing comes of the walk or the error. And after 4 complete, it is still the Blue Sox 3 and the Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start at just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, school play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. Joe McGuire back out there for inning number 5. And as I mentioned, he will face the top third of the order, Aaron Barboza, Justin Silvestro, and Ross Curley. We've had some shoddy infield defense and some fantastic outfield defense by both teams today. Three runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 3 left for the Blue Sox. 3 runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, 6 left for the Merchants. Both teams held, Blue Sox held hitless since there were 2 out in the second. Merchants' last hit was a leadoff hit by Sorrentino in the third. And we go to the top of the 5th. It's been 7 in a row retired by Joe McGuire of Wakefield. Here's Aaron Barboza, singled and scored in the first, flew out to left in the second. And he's behind 0-1. Third baseman Coster is in, and it's a ball, 1-1. Doesn't look like there's action behind Godfrey as expected. That's low, 2-1. Interesting that Coster is up the middle and through for a base hit. was going to say, it was interesting that to look at the defensive alignment as Barbosa is going to try and take second, and he does. A miscue defensively by the center fielder, Lozano. So the third error of the ball game on the Merchants. But I was saying, in that defensive alignment, Coster was playing in on the grass, but Collins was playing out in shallow left. But he didn't get to that one. So the go-ahead run in scoring position for the Blue Sox, and anticipating the bunt, the corner infielders come in for the Merchants. He does not square it. It's into left center field, and that will get down for extra bases. Barbosa being waved around third. He will score easily. Silvestro is on his way to second, and he will... Do you get a home run? He got a home run. The umpire is ruling it's a home run as it went into the bushes. The Merchants' defense looks surprised by that call, but it is, in fact, a two-run home run for Justin Silvestro. So Stroh picks up his second and third RBIs of the game. And, you know, I say it's hard to hit a ball out of here, but when you have those trees hanging over the... They did give him a double. Okay. Wow. They eventually overruled that, so it is just 4-3, not 5-3. My mistake. I was going to say, I didn't think that got out of there. So nobody out, an RBI double for Silvestro. My mistake, folks. And that's inside for ball one to Ross Curley. Yeah, they were, that's the thing with these bushes hanging over the fence. Hard to say what's a home run, what's a ground rule double, as that's fouled straight back to even the count at one. Ross is 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. So Silvestro does get a second hit, but only one RBI. He's got a single, a double. Barbosa scores the go-ahead run. Still nobody out. So much for the bunt. Throw over to second, and safe is Silvestro. Nearly got him there. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that Barbosa had that heads-up running, because if that's a ground rule double, Barbosa is still at third. And if Barbosa doesn't advance on that single, as that's fouled, to make it 1-2. Job by Ross running it out, showing the hustle. So my initial call was correct. It was going to be a double. Silvestro was waved in by the infield umpire, and then they ruled it was a ground rule double. A little inside-out swing that drops, and it'll be fielded by the first baseman, Nardone, but heads-up base running by Silvestro gets him over to third. So it's as good as a sacrifice. Gets an important insurance run. Over to third with one out for Julian Alvarez. So Ross is 1 for 3. Here's Alvarez, who's 0 for 2. Infield comes in, and Alvarez takes ball one. Down and in, 2-0. This may be a pitch around situation. Not an intentional walk, but don't give him anything to hit with Salima on deck. Well, he goes after that one, and it's 2-1. With the infield in, you just need to loft it here a little bit to get that runner home. And he does, into left field, and that will be out of the reach of the left fielder, Dana. He leapt to catch it, he did not catch it, and Alvarez is into second, and it's 5-3. That's going to bring Dave Elligood out to the mound. Don't see anyone warming right now for the Merchants. Alvarez picks up his 9th RBI of the season. He's 1 for 3. And now all but 2 batters have reached base at least once for the Blue Sox. John Puttress, and the man who's coming up now, Andrew Salima. And you know he'd like to join that parade. Won't do it there. It's ball 1. 5-3 our score. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. But each time the Blue Sox scored in the first and second innings, the Merchants matched them in their half. The Blue Sox like to try and extend this lead a little more and make the task harder for the Merchants offense, as that's in there for strike 2, 1-2. And the Merchants will have the middle third of the order due up, Sorrentino and Brendan Berry and Joe Berry. Breaking ball slips out of McGuire's hands, and it's 2-2. Single and an error put Barbosa at second, then first a double, then a home run, then a ground rule double by Silvestro. Full count now to Salima. Curley grounded out to first, advancing Silvestro, and then a double out of the reach of the left fielder, Dana, by Alvarez. Swing and a miss. 2 down. As Salima is 0 for 3. And that'll bring up Thomas Russo. 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored in the second. And then popped up to short to end the third. Barbosa's single snapped a streak of 7 straight retired. So that's in there for strike 1 by McGuire. So that becomes the third error, the one by Lozano. As Russo grounds this right back to the pitcher, McGuire, on to first for the out that retires the side. The Blue Sox do get 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and leave 1. And after 4.5, it is the Blue Sox 5 and the Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow LSP on the web at localsportsproductions.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon LSP37, Snapchat LSP Media, and subscribe to the LSP YouTube channel. Five runs, 7 hits, 1 error, just 4 left for the Blue Sox. 3 runs, 4 hits, 3 errors, and 6 left for the Merchants. So will we see a repeat of the first and second innings? Or can Nick Godfrey get a much-needed shutdown inning here and keep the lead intact for the first time today for the Blue Sox? Again, it was 1-0 Blue Sox after half an inning, and the Merchants came back and tied. 3-1 Blue Sox after the top of the second. Merchants came back and tied. Now here we are in the bottom of the fifth after the Blue Sox got 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. It'll be the designated hitter Mike Sorrentino to lead things off. Sorrentino is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out to second. And the first pitch to him from Godfrey is lined into left field, and this will get down in front of Alvarez, and a leadoff base hit for Sorrentino. So he gets on base. And that'll put the tying run to the plate in the person of Brendan Berry, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. But don't tell him that. He fouls this one straight back, and it's 0-1. Sorrentino with a very small lead at first. High for ball 1. Sorrentino picks up the 5th Merchants hit of the ball game. Popped up. Puttress makes the catch. Runners tagging from first. And a good strong throw by Puttress. One hops to the shortstop Curley, but with a lot of foul territory here, that's not the worst idea in the world. Try and tag up on a play like that. So Berry is retired. He's 0 for 3, and that brings up Joe Berry. Flown out to right and flown out to center. And that's down and in for ball 1. This is line into left field. On the run is Alvarez. He reaches up. He made the catch. Well, each of the Blue Sox outfielders has made a fantastic defensive play here today. First Feliciano, then Barboza, and now Alvarez. And Berry goes around the horn in the outfield for his 3 outs. Fly out to right, fly out to center, fly out to left. Been a victim of 2 of those plays. Here's Bryant Dana, the left fielder. He's grounded out to second and struck out as he takes high ball 1. Blue Sox want to get some insurance here in the top of the 6th that they hold on to this lead after. If Godfrey can hang on to this lead, they'll have the bottom third of the order due up. That's in there for strike 1 to even the count. Del Carmen, Puttress, and Feliciano are due up in the top of the 6th. Little plie there by Alvarez in left field. Misses down and away, 2-1. Taking away not just a hit, but potentially an RBI. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2 throw to first, and back safely is Sorrentino as the throw nearly got away from Salima. Putty has been busy today. He's been doing a phenomenal job defensively. One of the best defensive catchers in the ICL. Got a cannon for an arm, blocks pitches very well. Fouled into the screen, remains 2-2. Godfroy 2-2 here to Dana. In there for strike 3 call, and he took a few steps to the dugout after he delivered it, knowing he got the call this time. So after 5 complete, still Blue Sox 5, Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. You can follow the Blue Sox on the web at LexingtonBlueSox.com, Facebook.com/LexingtonBlueSox, and on Twitter and Instagram, BlueSox_ICL. Joe McGuire still out there for the Merchants. Oh, there looks to be some action starting to stir in the Merchants' bullpen. Again, the bullpens are behind the dugout, so you can't see them very well from here. Trying to make out who's warming up for the Blue Sox. There's someone warming for them. So right now, Nick Godfroy in line for the win. If this score holds, the Blue Sox would like to make it a little more comfortable. Last 2 games they've had to walk off to win. This time they'd like to have a little less doubt behind it. As Manny Del Carmen swings and pops this one foul for strike 1. Del Carmen is 0 for 2, reached on an error and scored in the second and struck out looking in the fourth. And he bloops this one into shallow left, and this will be out of the reach of the shortstop, Collins. And Del Carmen has a base hit. So for the 4th time, the Blue Sox have the leadoff man aboard. And that'll bring up John Puttress, laid down a sacrifice bunt in the second. And he smokes this one into right center field, but this will be caught by the right fielder and throw back to first. And Barry nearly doubled up Del Carmen. And that'll be allowed out number 1. Tough break for Putty. He's now 0 for 2. I'll bring up Josue Feliciano. RBI single and a stolen base in the second. Fly out to left in the fourth. Catches the inside corner for strike 1. Broken back grounder down the third base line, and that'll make it 0-2. Save that for the winner, Sway. So Sway will get a fresh bat, and we'll go to work 0-2. With Del Carmen at first on the bloop single, leading off the inning. We've had fantastic defense in the outfield, as I've said, by both teams. As Sway fouls that one off and stays alive. Check swing, and it's outside, 1-2. Appeal to the infield umpire. I don't think Sway even came close to swinging there. Fouled off. And it looks like that took a chunk out of Joe Barry. He's going to need some time. You know, the Merchants, one thing they have that a lot of teams don't in the ICL is just longevity. Like, there's very little turnover in the starting lineup for the Merchants. Some of these guys have been playing for almost a decade. As Sway comes up empty for strike 3. They have the core of Marchese and Searles and not just Mike, but Dom Sorrentino. And it looks like we're going to have a pitching change as Joe McGuire has given Dave Elligood 5 2/3 strong innings, but he hands it over to the bullpen. We have a pitching change coming to you from Walsh Field in Wakefield, Mass. This is Lexington Blue Sox baseball on LSP. The LSP store is now open. Get yourself a DVD copy of this or any past LSP video broadcast or one of several different designs of bumper stickers. Visit localsportsproductions.com/store or the LSP Facebook page after the game to place your order. And remember, all orders within the continental United States come with free shipping. New pitcher for the Wakefield Merchants is Spencer Meyer. Takes over for Joe McGuire after 5 2/3 innings. Meyer making his 4th appearance of the season, 1-0 with 1 save. Has not allowed a run, 1 hit, no walks, 5 strikeouts. So the lineup turns over for Aaron Barboza, who is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, and he's hoping to shoot one into the gap and maybe get an insurance run for the Blue Sox. Lefty against lefty here, and the pitch. Breaking ball misses inside for ball 1. Del Carmen still at first after the leadoff single. Outside, 2-0. So as it stands right now, Joe McGuire on the hook for the loss. 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 strikeouts, no walks. Thus far allowed 5 runs. So that's upstairs 3-0. Only 3 of those runs were earned. Still responsible for Del Carmen on first. And a 4-pitch walk. First walk of the season issued. By Meyer. That'll bring up Justin Silvestro. Silvestro had what was first a double, then a homer, and then a ground rule double his last time up. He's 2 for 3. He's got 2 RBIs and a run scored, and he's behind 0-1 here. One and one the count. Del Carmen at second. Barboza at first. That's a strike, and that makes it 1-2. Looked a little high, but 8, 9, and 1 due up for the Merchants in the bottom half of this inning. That's low. Good block by Barry to make it 2-2. Five runs, 8 hits, 1 error, 4 left for the Blue Sox. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, 6 left for the Merchants. 7 left, rather, for the Merchants. And with a full count, the runners will be going. So let's see. Silvestro can get a pitch to hit and maybe bring home a couple. He hits it to the right side. And it's through for a base hit. 1 run scores. And holding at third is Barboza. It's hard to tell the dust cloud that the first baseman Nardone kicked up, diving for it, if that had gone through, but it did. And there's a big insurance run for the Blue Sox. They are now up 6-3 on Silvestro's 3rd RBI of the ball game and 3rd hit. Del Carmen scores his 2nd run. And now it's 1st and 3rd for Ross Curley. And Ross fouls it straight back into the screen for strike 1. So a little bit of breathing room for the Blue Sox. And that closes the book. As that's slow for ball 1, 1-1. That closes the book on McGuire, and his line is 5 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 5 strikeouts, 6 runs, 4 of which were earned. Now Barboza and Silvestro, the responsibility of Meyer. Barboza at third, Silvestro at first, 2 down here in the top of the 6th. And this is into left field. Back goes Dana, and he makes the catch in front of the ivy for the out that retires the side. Blue Sox get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and leave 2. And after 5 1/2, it is the Blue Sox 6 and the Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. LSP's next broadcast is tomorrow night at 7:55 p.m. when the Blue Sox host the Malden Mad Dogs. Watch the game live at localsportsproductions.com/live, then stream the game the next day at localsportsproductions.com/on-demand or on the LSP YouTube channel, or buy a DVD of the game at the LSP store. Nick Godfroy's day is done. He's in line for the win if this score holds. He goes 2 innings, allows 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. And he will be relieved by Borja Jones Barasaluthe. Borja having kind of a rough season. He's got a 9.33 ERA in 3 appearances, 0-1. 3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which are earned, no walks, 2 strikeouts. First pitch is swung on, set into right field, and this will be caught on the run by Barboza, making a long run from center field, and nearly running into Sway on the way for out number 1. Well, first pitch swinging, and Jake Nardone is retired for out number 1, and Nardone is now 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. That'll bring up Mike Manoogian, who has walked twice today and scored once. And he takes strike 1. Borja with the full windup, delivers strike 2. Borja's also surrendered 2 home runs this season. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And there are 2 down as Mike Manoogian is retired. 7th strikeout by Blue Sox pitching. And that'll bring up Bobby Lozano. Lozano is 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. Borja's last appearance took the loss against Melrose on June 20th, that walk-off home run by John Jennings. As that misses for ball 1. In the top of the 7th, the Blue Sox will have the middle third of the order. Alvarez, Salima, and Russo due up. That runs inside, nearly hits Lozano, and it's 2-0. Just a 3-run lead. You want to get Lozano, so when you face Coster, it'll be with the bases empty in the bottom of the 7th. But right now, Borja has to come back from 3-0 down to the leadoff man, Lozano. After a brief word with Puttress, the Guilford College native delivers. And therefore strike 1. And he's back in the count at 3-1. This is into center field. Barboza on the run. Deep into center field. And he made the catch! Are you kidding me? Aaron Barboza is having a mind-blowing game defensively. Are you serious? In any other park, that's gone. There, it's a Web Gem nominee. Wow. After 6 complete, still Blue Sox 6, Merchants 3. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Advertising opportunities are available on LSP. Get your company's message on air or on localsportsproductions.com for as little as $25 per ad. Visit localsportsproductions.com/advertising or email sam@localsportsproductions.com for more information. Top of the 7th. Spencer Meyer is still out there, and he will deal with Julian Alvarez, Andrew Salima, and Thomas Russo. The first pitch to Julian is in there for strike 1. And that misses for ball 1, 1-1. Alvarez had a RBI double his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Fouled off. Makes it 1-2. Jackknifes him a bit, and it's 2-2. That catch by Barbosa, sliding towards the ivy to make that catch in the deepest part of the ballpark in center field. Can you imagine the consequences in this game if he hadn't made that catch? So that's fouled off. Lozano, with his speed, could have easily scored an inside the Parker. He'd have extra bases for certain. And if he didn't score, you got Coster, who's reached base 3 times, due up after him. As Alvarez having another tough at-bat here. Well, the last time he had this kind of tough at-bat, he ended up grounding out to the pitcher. But as it stands now, when the bottom of the 7th rolls around, Coster will be leading off with the bases empty. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Alvarez is retired, 1 down. Alvarez set down on strikes. That is the first strikeout of the ball game for Meyer. And I'll bring up Andrew Salima, the first baseman. Salima is 0 for 3, grounded out to second, grounded out to the pitcher, and struck out swinging. And he takes a curveball low for ball 1. Gets on top of that one down the third baseline, and it'll be fouled to even the count at 1. Some phenomenal defense in this game by both teams' outfields. Swing and a miss, tied him up inside, and that'll make it 1-2. Really, all 6 outfielders this game have played phenomenal defense. 2-2 the count as that misses outside. But Barboza having the highlight reel day of them all, covering a lot of ground with his elite speed and making some ridiculous catches to take away extra bases from the Merchants and keep them down 3. This is fouled. And this is a sliding, not a catch by the second baseman, Manugian, coming into foul territory. And that'll keep it at 2-2. Left fielder Dana robbed an at-bat from Sway on a ball that was going into foul territory and almost going into out-of-play territory, but ran it down before it went out of play. Sway himself had a sliding catch. Lozano's had a couple of good plays. Alvarez doing a plie to haul one in. But Aaron Barboza having the game of his life defensively as this is into right field, and this will get down the line for a base hit. Salima hits first, is on his way to second as the ball gets away from Barry. Salima's on his way to third, and he will get there standing. And we talk about that defense so much, and one that gets away from Brendan Barry is one that puts Salima at third with his first hit of the ball game. A triple. There's Thomas Russo. He's looking for his first hit. He reached base on an error in the second and scored, but he's also popped up to short and grounded out to the pitcher. Infield's in, and Russo fouls this one away for strike 1. If Borja goes back out there for the 7th, he would be in line for a save since he entered the 6th with a 3-run lead. As that's upstairs for ball 1. So right now, as it stands, the decisions would go win to Nick Godfroy, loss to Joe McGuire, save to Borja. That's low. That makes it 2-1. That's the third triple of the year hit by the Blue Sox. Two and two the count. The other 2 triples belong to Ferguson and Alvarez. Meyer comes set, and the pitch to the right side, through for a base hit. Russo picks up his first hit of the ball game. Salima scores. And that makes it 7-3. And it looks like we're going to have another pitching change as Dave Elligood is out from the first base dugout. And pitching change coming to you from Walsh Field at Wakefield Memorial High School in Wakefield, Mass. This is Blue Sox baseball on LSP. Want LSP to tape or broadcast your team's games? Rates start just $100 per game. Also ask LSP about streaming your next gaming tournament, wedding, concert, recital, play, meeting, or other event. Visit localsportsproductions.com/services or email Sam at localsportsproductions.com for more information. New pitcher for the Merchants is Greg Johnson, making his 5th appearance of the season. He has no decisions and a .573 ERA. In 11 innings, he's allowed 15 hits, 12 runs, 9 of which are earned, walked 4, and struck out 6. It's good for a whip of 1.727. This is his first time facing the Blue Sox. His last appearance on July the 1st against Watertown went 3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. In fact, the Reds have really been his bugaboo. He's allowed six of his 9 runs to the Reds. And he didn't have a good start against Reading on June 11th, when he went 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 runs, 3 of which